Welcome to week 6 of On Top the Cage. We have an obvious set change tonight. The monkey in the middle is my brother-in-law, Teddy.
He's been Teddy from Atlanta.
Hello. I'm here. What? I'm here. Let's do this.
We're going to do it. I have questions for you.
Good. Atlanta United questions?
No, that
the show's going to go where it wants to go
got from the Falcons.
I don't know why the Falcons didn't want him. He was great. We gave him a big contract
So
like a
he's
year
good.
and a half ago. Deion Jones.
Yeah.
Yes? He's good. He doesn't fit into Dean Pease's system.
No, that's fine.
Dean Pease likes the bigger backs.
Can he freaking tackle?
He can.
Thank
He was
God.
on injured reserve, and they let him play the last game with the preseason, and then put him back on injured reserve. He was great for his first 2 or 3 years.
Way too much football talk. This is the intro.
Sorry about that.
Hey,
This is the intro.
come on. I had to get details on my new guy.
LSU guy,
Oh, my goodness.
he'll be fine.
All right, I'll try to moderate this thing. My co-hosts have been, in essence, tailgating for the show. Dan has extra hours available to him because his youth football team got knocked out of the playoffs
last game. Yeah, we
2-4.
Now we won Saturday. We played a consolation game, 14-0. First shutout. Had a pick six too.
Very nice.
And Ted has been anxiously awaiting his Braves baseball team to play. They were supposed to start at 4:30. It's currently 7:45 when we started the show, so he's been tailgating for that. We should have a lively show tonight. I tell you what, Julie, it's been somewhat of a tradition that I replay the show on Friday nights. There's not a whole lot of sports viewing for me going on. Dan loves his high school football, so he's wrapped up in that. But it's usually the last thing I do on Friday nights, tee it up the show about 11 o'clock or so. Watch it, make sure I get the picks right. Got to jot down Dan and I's picks so we know what the hell happened last week.
Holy shit, you didn't need to waste any paper on my picks.
There weren't a lot of fun moments, but we're going to try to change that for you all tonight. So, what do you want to talk about?
How about we do the beer review so we can start drinking?
Right out of the gate.
Right out of the gate, huh?
That's fine. These guys are parched. They've been drinking. Dan, introduce it. What do we got?
It's a beer from Ignite Brewing, which is right around the corner from us in Barberton, Ohio. It's called Scarlet Red Ale.
I don't even like red ales.
This one.
I know why I picked it because my son Connor is a student at the Ohio State University. But let's talk about the can presentation.
Well,
I do
hold
want
on.
you
It
to read.
says, strike up the band and load up the cooler for tailgate season with a cold, easy drinking malt forward Irish-style red ale known for marching to the sweet notes of toffee and caramel.
I like toffee. I like Heath bars.
It is a touchdown of a salute to you, Buckeye State. I think Ken just dotted the I.
Yeah, well, it's got the band on there, and instead of doing Script Ohio, because I'm sure there's a trademark on that, they've spelled out Scarlet.
It's a cool can presentation. I picked it for a couple different reasons. My son Connor is a student at Ohio State University. I have not seen him since the Saturday before Labor Day weekend when we were down at the Notre Dame Ohio State football game. I can't wait to see him. But second of all, I picked it because my brother-in-law Teddy is an SEC honk, and anytime I can get a chance to chap him, I'm going to do it.
Honk. Ohio State, come down and play 8 games in the SEC, and we'll talk.
The second-ranked Buckeyes.
Come on down and play 8 games. Play Ole Miss, play Alabama, play Mississippi State, play Tennessee, play Florida. Come on down. You're welcome.
All right,
Anytime
does that
you
mean
want.
Georgia's going to come up and play the Big Ten schools?
We would love to.
I tell you what, Teddy is a huge Georgia fan. He got here Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Their game kicked at 3:30. Him and his wife Kate are Wild fans. I know this because I play Auburn, right? I think the game was like 35-10 in the middle of the fourth quarter.
Auburn's like Nebraska in the Big Ten.
This
Yeah.
year, maybe.
Georgia had
They're going to be out without a coach here shortly.
They're
Nebraska doesn't have a
get,
coach.
They're going to get the guy from University of Kansas.
Anyway, it was 35-10. It was middle of the fourth quarter.
Keep the damn television on, Ken.
No, it wasn't that. I mean, you guys got like a false start, and both Ted and Kate like lost their shit. I'm like, look, a fat guy like lost his balance. You're up 35-10. What is the problem here?
Discipline, Ken.
So-
Discipline is how we do it in the South.
They are big fans. So Connor did not come home without demands. He's like, we're watching Thursday Night Football. You're going to take off work Friday. We're going to golf. You need to make me chili. But I guess when you don't see your kid for 6 weeks, that shit flies. All of it's going to happen. All of it sounds good to me for the most part. That other job, that lawyer thing gets in the way every once in a while. But I'm off work Friday, and we're going to golf. Hopefully the weather works. It's currently raining right now.
It's raining right now, yes, it is.
So.
And it's raining down south, too, which is why the Braves are delayed. But hopefully we recorded every channel we need to record, because I don't know where they're going to, because the Masked Singer might take precedence over the Braves.
Get out of here.
But it might.
Kind of
Hopefully Northeast Ohio.
I think the NHL starts tonight. We welcomed them back last week. The NBA will start, I think, when we shoot the show next week. So that's a welcome back to them.
The
I know you're not a fan.
NBA.
Yes.
I'm glad you brought up the NBA, because now I'm going to pull out my notes.
Uh-oh, Dan's got
notes.
I got
notes.
notes,
Took
because
notes.
I'll tell you what.
For the love of God.
And I'm not an NBA fan.
Is Tristan Thompson still on your team?
No.
Okay.
He's not. I love the Cavs. The Cavs, good, play basketball, but I'm really pissed about the
Draymond Green.
Golden State. Yeah, that's bullshit.
With him punching him in the face?
Complete sucker punch.
Apparently that's what you get when you get some Draymond in your life.
Yeah, but that's bullshit. And then I got to listen to Steve Kerr, Mr. Holier Than Thou, tell everybody else his political views, and then he cowers down and he's a freaking candy ass and doesn't suspend Draymond Green. That dude should be out for sucker punching. Bullshit. Everybody's seen the video. If you're a sports fan, you watch the video, and he just walks up. The dude shoves him, and that's cheap.
Well, the
that's
problem has got to
bullshit.
be that it's his own teammate.
Yeah, that's
Someone
worse.
that wears the same jersey as him.
Yeah, he
Gets
sucker
paid by
punched
the
him
same
right in
people
mouth.
as he's paid.
That's bullshit.
No,
And
you
you
he
think
should be
he's going
out.
to come out and say, this it hurt? Oh,
Steve
this-
Kerr's excuse today in the media, candy ass, I don't want to hear your shit on politics anymore. Stay in your lane, dude, because you're a pussy. I was so pissed. I mean, that's when I started writing down notes. And this goes back to Aaron Donald still playing.
I know.
Swinging two helmets, and he's still allowed to play too. So the preeminent players that are supposed to be role models for all these kids, and it's all bullshit. It's about money, and that's all it is. This is all entertainment, and if you get worked up about your team, go find something else to do.
Dan, you're, 47? 46?
Me?
How old are you?
52.
52. You're just not realizing this?
It's ridiculous. And
It has
I don't
gotten
need,
well, speaking of ridiculous, before I don't want to get into
I
too
told
much-
you the
stop.
shows. I'm just
We're
gonna let
going
the
off the
show
rails.
go where it wants to
Speaking of
go.
ridiculous, did you see Grady Jarrett's sack of Tom Brady?
We were
That was
talking.
Under
ridiculous,
2
too.
minutes.
Yeah,
He set him
no.
on the ground.
that was ridiculous. The other sack the other night with the fumble, the Monday night game.
Yes, it's on the board. I know
It's a
all of this.
freaking
I know
fumble.
all this. I know this.
You got a 340-pound dude that's what?
These guys are going all over the place.
What are we supposed to do and set Tom Brady on a platter and be like, we had a chance? And Arthur Smith, our new head coach at Atlanta, well, new as of last year, he did everything he could to consume himself because
Yeah,
that was ridiculous. Like
ridiculous.
Brady
You're trying to
couldn't have
consume
tackled
himself?
him. Assume himself?
Consume stuff. Hey, I'm going to take control of the show.
Now
again.
you're not taking control of it because now I'm on Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
Why are we
my
celebrating that?
I don't
dude
give a
making
shit
home
about
runs?
that guy.
You didn't break any records.
And do you know what's even
it's a
more
Yankee
important?
record you broke?
Even more worse than that. The American League record changed 25 years ago when we started playing interleague play.
Yeah.
So we're not playing all the American League teams.
Right.
So we're playing the Reds. We're playing the Cardinals. It's not an American League record anymore. Done. And guess what? Every time they broke in onto my college football,
Yeah.
I don't care.
It was dumb. I don't know why that was. Who holds the home run record? Barry Bonds?
73.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
Well, actually, no, it's Hank Aaron with
Jesus.
755.
so,
All time.
But
how's that baseball worth so much freaking money? I mean, that's just stupid.
It's-
I mean, they're throwing
because he's-
numbers out.
because he's a Yankee,
I'll get control of my show here in a minute.
Screw
he
that.
will not. Dan and I are taking over. This is the Dan and Ted show. Ken is going to moderate.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to recap this whole thing.
Hold on, I wasn't done. I got my
He's got more notes.
Oh,
my
happy
God.
birthday to my mother-in-law tomorrow.
All right, couple of things we talked about here. We talked about the sacks, right? That was an awful call.
We'll talk about it again, I'm sure.
The roughing the passer call against the Atlanta Falcons. They were down 21-0 early in that game. They got back in the game. They were down by 15. They had all the momentum in the game, and it was nothing out of the ordinary that you see a quarterback sack. The difference is it was Tom Brady, and it's not the National Football League players' fault that Tom Brady's fucking 45 years old. It was ridiculous. Jerome Boger made the phone call, but then, made the call.
Jerome Bogert is the problem. Why is he on every Atlanta Falcons game?
But Carl Sheffer said, hey, Jerome, I got you. On Monday night, he made an equally bad call where I think it was Frank Clark stripped the ball from the quarterback, fell on him, and they said he landed on with his weight. I mean, the NFL officiating is pretty poor. It really is. As far as, I'm done with the Aaron Donald thing. I'm done with the Draymond Green. The difference is
Aaron Donald shouldn't be playing.
Just let me say it. It's practice. That's the problem. The NFL, the NBA do not have control of that. They don't have control. If the NBA had control of that practice, Draymond Green would be suspended. If the NFL had control of the Aaron Donald situation, he would be suspended. The fact of the matter, Dan, is, and you know it, is the fact that the team disciplines it, and they're not going to suspend star players. They're just not going to do it.
No, and the NFL.
My problem is Jerome Boger. When's the first time you heard about Jerome Boger? He was the token that was allowed to do the Super Bowl. You never heard of Jerome Boger. All of a sudden, here he is, and all of a sudden he's officiating every Atlanta Falcons game I've ever seen. I'm like, is this guy?
He's been a long time official.
Can he not travel out west? Why is he
official.
officiating every game east of the Mississippi?
Well, I don't know. I've seen Jerome Boger for many years. I've seen Carl Sheffer as well, who made the call on Monday night. Obviously, neither of them were good calls. The NFL officiating needs to get better. It has influenced games. It's changed the outcome of games. Speaking of games, let's talk about last week.
Wait a minute. Aren't we going to talk about the Crew?
We should talk about the Crew and Atlanta United.
Big news from the Crew. I mean, we talk about soccer all the time on this show.
Let's talk soccer. I love soccer.
The Crew fired their coach.
Caleb Porter they did
not.
Was
his fault?
They had the most ties in the MLS this year. Then they blew at least 11 leads.
They did better than my team did.
Well, but no. I mean, Jimmy Haslam is part owner of the Columbus Crew, and they fired a coach that just won the championship 2 years ago. I think there's some subliminal messages here. Kevin Stefanski, you better get your shit straight because Jimmy Haslam ain't putting up with it.
Are they looking for Jurgen Klopp to come in and save the day? It ain't happening. This is MLS, and my team was out before Dan's team was because, well, I'm Atlanta United, and although Joseph had the goal of the year, I don't know if you had a chance to vote on that, but Joseph,
I don't vote on
goal of the year, Joseph might be leaving the team, and guess what? If Joseph leaves the team,
we'll take him.
Yeah, and ticket buyers will also be leaving the team. Sorry.
Wait, how does he have the goal of the year? Because Zeller scored that shot, that free kick from like 50 yards away.
I'm going to try to take back control of the show here in a minute. These guys are talking between themselves more than anything. By the way, your dad is very much so looking forward to watching the show, so...
Hey, Dad.
Let's make it great. He sent me a text message to see if he could watch it live. That would be streaming. We tried it last year for a couple of weeks.
He'd have to be sitting right there.
He would have to. It created all kinds of problems. I don't know if it's a Wi-Fi issue or whatever the situation. It ended up buffering. It just didn't work. I would love to do it. I would love to have the fan interaction. I'd like people to call in, blah, blah, blah. It's not going to happen. So sorry about that, Tom. I will get it up in the morning for you for sure. Last week records. Let's talk about them. Dan went 6-9-1. He's 36-42-2 on the year. I went 8-7-1. I am 38-40-2 on the year. This shit is not easy. There's a lot of parity in the league.
Who'd have thought the Steelers would have got thumped that bad?
Dan, well, let's do it. Elephant picks. Dan is not off the schneid. It's ridiculous. He's 0-5. Stop picking fucking Pittsburgh for your elephant pick. It's 2 weeks in a row. I mean, that's horrific. I hit my elephant pick again. I'm 4-1, which is a great record. I had San Francisco. They blew out Carolina on the road. And I'll continue to belabor until I suffer another loss on my elephant picks. Hopefully it doesn't come for a while. The only loss was that Browns historic meltdown in the last 2 minutes against New York Jets in week 2. Otherwise, that record would be perfectly clean. So I feel like I should have it anyway. Barring that, unless we got other things to talk about.
Yeah, let's get to this Thursday night game. Everybody's psyched for this one.
Hold up. Everyone knows the best part of this show is the first 12 to 15 minutes before we start talking football. So it's got to be something.
In your opinion.
Oh, well, my name's Teddy. I'm Katie's brother, and I clean the shit out.
Oh my God!
This garage.
I don't know. Yeah.
So
if you
like,
watch,
I don't know if you can't see, but there was just be cobwebs.
I've complained about how dirty the set is.
The refrigerator has not been cleaned since I cleaned it 2 years ago.
I
love this man.
Cobwebs, 'tis the season.
I love this man, but he likes things to be tidy, just not clean. So I'm still waiting for like a super thank you, like
I thanked you.
like maybe you grab my.
It's not going to happen.
Anyway, so since like from
not
like
gonna
1 p.m. today until what time you come for, we were cleaning, me and my sister Katie, and it's the set is beautiful. You probably can't tell.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Cobwebs are gone.
I don't know if you
It's
can
beautiful.
see the Notre Dame banner
beautiful.
over there. But
It got
looks
vacuumed.
brand new.
Yeah.
Obviously, the show's going to run long tonight. We are on to Thursday night football. I tell you what, last Thursday night was absolutely brutal. It was Indianapolis at Denver.
Oh, I heard it was one of the worst.
There was no
games ever.
touchdown scored in the game. The final score was 12-9. The quarterback play on both sides was really bad. The play in general was bad. Social media was ablaze. I mean, ablaze about how awful the game was.
Yeah.
And then Amazon Prime said, "Hold my beer," and they ran the promotion for this week's game.
Yeah, look out! Two great defenses.
I had friends texting me during the game last Thursday about how awful it was, and I was like, laughing. I was like, "You watch Thursday Night Football?" Because, no, I don't. I'm sorry.
I do, and I will 100% watch
watch
every
it
snap this week. It is the Washington football team traveling to Soldier Field to play my Chicago football Bears. Washington's 1-4. The Bears are 2-3. 3 wins between the two teams. The Bears are 1-point favorites in this game. The over/under is 37.5. Let's talk about Washington, who comes off their home loss against Tennessee. They're not a good football team. I think the biggest news out of the nation's capital in regards to that was Riverboat calling out his own quarterback.
Dude, that's insane to me because
Let me tell people what happened. I mean, there was a question as to why the other teams in the NFC East are way better than them, and he frankly said the quarterback play.
he did. And CBS Sports, they have a show called Time to Shine, and I think it's guy's name's Charlie Shine. Just freaking railed on Riverboat Ron because he had the stats of all the NFC East quarterbacks, and Carson Wentz is
Daniel
the best
Jones
one.
is beating him, and
No, Carson Wentz is the best one.
Well, I think
Based on all the stats, the completion percentage. So this comes down to coaching. Riverboat Ron wants out, but he still wants paid by the Commanders. Jack Del Rio, I've railed on him. His defense is horrible. They suck. Their coaches suck. It's not the players. That team has been abandoned by the coaching staff.
at the end of the day, the accountability belongs to Ron Rivera. He is the
Hell
head
yes,
coach
it
of that
does.
football team. I know that. I think we all know that. Anybody who's in some sort of position of power knows that. Your team is your team. You work with them, but at the end of the day, it's you. So, the Chicago Football Bears, they lost last week on the road in Minnesota. They were down really early.
against a good team.
They were down
Good.
21-3. They fought all the way back. They ended up actually taking the lead in the fourth quarter. There was plenty of fight in the Bears. One thing about the Bears this week, for the first time in the history, they are wearing orange helmets.
Ooh.
Well, I should say the first time they're not wearing navy blue helmets ever. They've had a white C, they've had an orange C, but never any other color besides
An orange
navy
helmet.
blue.
What color are the uniforms?
The jerseys are orange and the pants are white.
So is this an
Nice.
homage to saying goodbye to Soldier Field because they're going to get a new stadium soon?
That's not a done deal. I hope they do move up north to Arlington, but we'll see about that. Look, Fields played pretty well last week. I've railed on him in the previous shows. I think it was probably his best game of the season that he's had. The defense has to be better here in this game. Two teams that theoretically are not very good. I had a feeling Dan was going to make it through the beer since it was only 12 ounces this week. Before we got to the football slate, we got through game one.
We had a
so.
good intro.
I'm ready.
And we've got Hagee's nuts,
Yes.
too.
Hagee's nuts. Very, very
Dan
oily.
did bring treats to the
Very
side
good.
tonight. The Bears are -1 to recap again.
I'm taking Chicago -1. I think they win by at least by a field goal. I take them because they're at home. Have they proven that they get my loyalty? No, they don't. But -1 at home, I'm taking the Bears.
Bears.
I'm going to go with the Bears as well in this game. They're wearing orange helmets. Bears by 70. Maybe -67 by field
Bears
goal.
by 90.
I think the Bears find a way to win this game. We'll see. They're home. It's at night. The crowd will be wound up. That's the reason why I like the Chicago football Bears. There are no games in London. There's no games in overseas.
Germany, no?
Anything like that this week? No, we have the regular early window on Sunday, which is 1 o'clock here for us, Central Time 12. As you go out to the West Coast, 10 a.m. I guess starts. Anyway, it starts with the San Francisco 49ers traveling to play Teddy's Atlanta Falcons. The 49ers. I don't know what that was exactly.
The 49ers.
49. I told you they tailgated.
Sorry.
The 49ers are -5.5 in this game. The over/under is 43.5.
That's a big number.
San Francisco's 3-2 on the season. They come off of their win in Carolina. They actually didn't go back home. They stayed in West Virginia.
They should.
They went to, I don't know exactly what, I'm sure they went to a college or something like that, but they stayed in West Virginia. They did not travel back across the country in this game.
Good for them.
I'll tell you what, that defense of the 49ers is elite.
Travels and defense travels.
It's elite. It's really good. They did lose their starting cornerback this week to an ACL tear. He's out for the season. A good player. I love that Hufanga kid who showed up again with another pick 6 last week. I talked about him the previous week. They're a good football team. You know, Garoppolo, Deebo Samuel, Jeff Wilson's running the ball because they have injuries at the running back position as well. Atlanta, very competitive last week, and we kind of touched on them earlier with the game in regards to where they were down really big early, 21-0. They made it 21-15. They had all the momentum in the game, and then that horrific call by Jerome Boger, where if they do not call the roughing the passer, they would have had to punt.
Name right? Is it Booger or
Boger? B-O-G-E-R.
We're calling him Booger from now on.
Boger.
Jerome, B-O-G-E-R.
Boger.
I'll take the lead from here because Jerome Boger did screw the Falcons over last weekend, and of course,
Well, they never would have won. It's a
being
different
a
story.
homer, yeah, sure. Who knows what would have happened if we had gotten that? I think it was 4th down. If not, it would have been 3rd and super long.
They would have had to punt if
But
they didn't call the roughing
The
call.
Falcons have a problem right now because with Cordell Patterson, the Swiss Army knife, being out, it's going to be a problem.
What the hell?
He's hurt. He's got a knee. He didn't
ran
play
all
last
over
week.
the Browns.
He didn't play last week.
But
And he's
you're
out
right,
for
they
2
ran
weeks.
all
He had a
over
little
the Browns.
orthoscopic surgery. Hopefully Kyle Pitts is back for this week.
He's supposed to be.
Atlanta being at home, I'm still going because I do believe in Dean Pease's defense, and I also believe in Artie Smith's offense. So yes, that's a big number, which is why even if Atlanta doesn't win, we're definitely going to cover that 5.5.
I'm not going that way. The Browns played Atlanta. Their Dean Pease's defense didn't stop the Browns' offense. You're not going to stop San Francisco, and San Francisco's defense is flat out playing better than the Browns. Going with the 49ers.
Understood.
Speaking of helmets here, wild card situation again. The Atlanta Falcons are wearing red helmets this week, which are throwback helmets that they haven't worn in a long time. San Francisco -5, 2 weeks on the road. This makes me really nervous. They're a considerably better football team. I'm personally
You're
not
going to lay
gonna-
5.5.
I'm personally not going to play this game. I'm going to take the Falcons getting the 5.5 in this game. It makes me nervous because I think San Francisco is a considerably better football team. With that being said, I'm going to take the points based upon them being on the road, being displaced, if you will, for the last couple of weeks. As I said earlier, they stayed in West Virginia. Next game on the board, the New England Patriots travel to play Dan's football team, the Cleveland Football Browns. Browns are a full 3-point favorite in this game. Dan is wearing...
I need to thank Barbara, your mother.
She made that for you?
Made this nice tail runner for me.
She didn't
But-
make
Not for your
it.
table or for you?
Well, I put it on as a scarf, but
it's a table runner.
It's a table runner.
I don't think she made it. She probably found it at a garage sale for like a dime.
I'm
She
going to
probably
say she
made it.
made it
She
for me.
made it. Barbara loves
You could
Dan.
be a hater. That's fine, because
That
what
shit
you do.
goes for
You're-
maybe a quarter at a garage sale.
That's
a
fine.
quarter
but
yard
It was given
at
to
the-
me by Barbara, so I appreciate it.
Yes, you
Thank
should.
you very
Thank you.
much for it. Even
Dan
though
loves
Ken's
my
being
mom.
a douche.
Cleveland.
He's a hater.
Cleveland 3-point favorite in this game. New England. Let's talk about the road team first. They did.
Is Daniel
They won against Detroit at home. They are 2-3 on the
Mac
season.
Jones.
Yeah.
Detroit came in there with the highest scoring offense in the league, and they shut him out completely.
What the hell happened to Detroit in that
I don't
game?
know. New England completely shut him out. They are playing with their third-string quarterback, Zappy, and I tell you what. I watch. I tell you what. Bill Belichick said that he didn't come out with a vote of confidence for, theoretically, their starting quarterback, Mac Jones. He said, we'll see.
Holy hell,
Mac Jones
Zappy played better than him? When you look at the stats,
I'm not
Zappy's
familiar
better.
with the Zappy guy. Did he play
He's
last
a
week?
third-string quarterback.
Brian Hoyer was the backup, but he got hurt as well in the Green Bay game, and it was Zappy who finished that game, played pretty well,
came in, and then
counted for
Zappy
himself well last
started
week.
Who's the Zappy guy? Where's he from?
Western Kentucky, like a fourth-round
the
pick or
Hilltoppers.
fifth-round pick.
Well done,
Yeah.
well done, Dan. I didn't know that one. Good.
Hell yeah.
That's
All right,
what-
Dan, let's
that's
talk
what
about
Dan
your
does.
football team. What's going on with your
We
football team?
suck and can't do anything on defense.
Miles Garrett's back, right?
Yeah, he's back, but the only thing Myles Garrett, if you watch the Browns play, Myles Garrett thinks every play's a pass and runs up the field trying to sack the quarterback, and then teams just run underneath us. So if you got a player that's running up the field, you need to scheme and have a linebacker there to fill in that gap. The Browns can't figure that frickin' out, but me, with my Pee-wee background,
So it's
can figure it out.
Stefanski problem.
The Browns did come off a home
Who's
loss
the
against the
D
Los
coordinator?
Angeles Chargers.
Joe Woods.
Don't know.
So I don't know. He was the 49ers defense, or he was DB coach at the 49ers, and then he is the coordinator now. Been there for what? This is his third season.
This is because
I mean,
of the tree.
yeah, but
They come,
I mean, I can see the shit. I'm hoping your linebacker that we got.
Deion Jones.
Because our biggest problem is when Anthony Walker got hurt in the Steelers game, that was the leader on defense. That was the one that kept everybody
Deion used to
in
have the
check.
green dot on the back of his helmet.
Jesus,
So,
no more
I-
tailgating before the show. Cleveland
What do you
comes
mean?
off of their
This
home
is-
loss
this
This is
against,
good commentary,
shit.
Ken.
against the Los Angeles
We're about
Chargers.
to take Ken outside, and me and
30-20.
Dan are going to take this
Yeah.
over.
I mean, you're right, Dean. The defense for the Cleveland Browns has been really bad.
Can't
And-
tackle. It's
and
worse.
On paper, it looks really good, but on the playing
They
field,
don't
on the
tackle
surface, it
shit.
looks really bad. I mean, they have their vaunted running game, and it's real with Chubb and Hunt.
Nick Chubb had 134 yards rushing. You're not supposed to lose a game when you have a running back that rushes for 134
Cleveland
yards.
-3 in this game.
Cleveland.
I like them as well. I'm going to go with the Browns as well. -3. It's short enough for me.
Does anyone
look,
care what I think?
yes.
Yeah.
I'm going
Let's
to take
hear it.
Cleveland -3.
All right, so we're all in consensus on this game. I just think New England has a very limited offense, regardless of how well Zappy's played. So I like the Browns.
We've got the
-3 in this game.
emotional picks out of it. Let's just run through these next ones.
It's not the way the show happens.
Well-
The New York Jets travel to play the Green Bay Packers. Jets are 3-2.
Ooh, that's a
Green Bay
big-
has the exact same record of 3-2.
number.
Green Bay 7.5-point favorite in this game. The over/under is 46. Let's talk about the Jets, who come off an impressive home win against the Miami Dolphins. Don't get me wrong. I know the in-laws are going to be like, well, we didn't have our quarterback, and you didn't. They didn't have Tua. Bridgewater went out very early in the game. I think the first series.
They're
of the game.
never going to have Tua again.
They're playing. I don't think that's true. They're playing with their third-string quarterback, Skylar Thompson. I want to say he's from Iowa State or
Grant
Kansas
likes
State, one of
him a
those
lot.
Big 12 teams.
I don't know where he's from.
Grant likes him a lot. He likes the white guy.
I tell you what, the Jets. They're a young team. They're kind of dumb. They're talented.
Young, dumb, and talented.
Brees Hall's kind of coming into his own as a running back there.
How about Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati? Freaking good as hell.
Another one of their
Quarterback, right?
first-round draft
Yeah.
picks. Like I said, they're a young, up-and-coming, talented football team, and the whole question with them is gonna be Zach Wilson, and if he's a real player, and he very well may be. The Packers.
That's a big number.
We talk about the Packers. They come off of their loss in London against the New York Giants, where they had a lead early and then they lost the game late.
Hey, let's speak of that for a second, because we were watching that together. And what was the one consensus we had? I was so happy. My wife's from England, that London was given a good game. That was probably the best game I've seen. There was actually a lot of Giants, a lot of Packers fans. 'Cause how many times you want to see the Jaguars go over there or the Falcons, and they're like, "Oh, it's
Green Bay
it was a
Packers were
good
there.
game.
Yeah.
It was a good
Yeah.
game. It was down to the finish. It was a great game. I'm happy for the people of London.
It was the first time that the National Football League sent two teams overseas with winning records. So, yeah, it turned out to be a great game. Good
And
for
how many times since they sang "God Save the King"?
I did. I asked Teddy that question. I'm like, because I'd seen the previous week. This was back-to-back weeks where they played games in London. And the first week, I forget who the game was. But anyway, they started saying God Save the King. And I started pointing at the TV. I'm like, that's wrong. It's God Save the Queen. And then it dawned on me that the Queen died, so maybe it's King now. But I thought they had it all wrong. But I got it all confirmed with Ted.
First time the NFL had ever
said
sung
it's
God Save the King was
is
2
King.
weeks ago. And now all their
England.
currency is going to change and everything else. So that's how they roll over there.
All right. The offense for the Green Bay Packers is still a work in progress.
That's a big number.
The defense was really good last year, and they've frankly been a disappointment
Green
so
Bay's
far this year.
defense sucks this year.
It's not been great. I mean, on paper it looks good. On the surface, once again, it doesn't look great.
On paper, the Browns look good too on defense, and we suck.
Green Bay minus 7.5. I don't think I went first yet. I've been harping on the Jets for a while. How I think they're an upcoming team. Not this week. I'm taking the Packers minus 7.5. I think that the Packers at some point in time are going to put this offense, which is a work in progress, together.
He has no receivers.
That's not true. He has young receivers. Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs. He has fail-safe in Randall Cobb. I mean, it's a matter of it working. I mean, Aaron Rodgers didn't participate in OTAs. He probably should have been.
Who's in his backfield?
Aaron Jones runs the ball there. I mean,
And
he's
then
a great
that
player.
Dillon dude.
Yeah, and A.J. Dillon. They have a great running attack.
Two good running backs.
I'm on the
How's
Packers
the
minus
O-line?
7.5 in this game. What do you guys say?
7.5 is a big number for me, but if Ken sounds so confident, and with Green Bay being at home, I will also lay the 7.5 and take Green Bay.
I'm taking the paper airplanes.
Dan's with the New York Jets. He's buying in. I sold him enough on the Jets being young, dumb, and ultra
so
talented.
They're going to play. Green Bay probably wins, but
By 9.
7.5. I'm worried about Aaron Rodgers with a thumb injury.
He's playing.
But his thumb might hurt.
I sold the
Yeah,
Jets,
unless
and
he
then I went the other way.
smoked Freaking weed or whatever, or wherever he went, whatever.
Mushrooms.
Yeah, he likes his
Whatever the hell he
hallucinogens for
did.
sure. Next game on the board is actually a repeat of a game earlier this season. The Jacksonville Jaguars
Already?
play Indianapolis.
Wait, already?
It is. They played week 1. It is now week 6, and they play again. The Jaguars are 2-3. The Indianapolis Colts are 2-1. Colts at home, 2.5-point favorite, shy of a field goal favorite, over under 42. Jacksonville comes off their home loss against Houston. I was pumping the Jaguar team for a long time, and that was a really poor
Understood.
performance of them. I thought they were an up-and-coming
Understood.
team. I don't know. And here's the thing. How about Jacksonville? Get this, which is very difficult to do. They are 0-9 against the Houston Texans last 9 times they played them. That's almost fucking impossible to do without bad Houston's
Especially
been.
in the last
But
2
anyway, I mean, Trevor Lawrence has to play better for that team. But Indianapolis, let's talk about them. And I mean, they won that game in Denver. I mean, their offensive line, which we thought was a strength of the team, has
That
been
game
really
was
poor.
awful. They can't move the ball. They can't score touchdowns. They got to kick. And they got rid of your boy.
Being an Atlanta
Rodrigo.
fan, I was excited for Matt Ryan to go to Indiana. I was like, he's finally going to get an offensive line. The offensive line has been shit. And back in
Awful.
Atlanta, we would call him Noodle Arm. He showed that last week. I still love Matt Ryan. He's a BC grad, where my dad's also a BC grad. I still love Matt Ryan. But
He's
if
a
you
turnover machine.
if you can't scramble in 2022 in the NFL, you can't get out of the pocket, you're going to have problems. And Matt Ryan, God I love for everything he did for Atlanta for the last 11 years. I'm going to take Jacksonville to beat them on the road this week. I will lay those 2.5. Actually, I will take those 2.5 all day long.
All right, you're on Jacksonville then? I don't know. Will the win actually spark this Indianapolis team and have them play better?
No, because the win was so freaking ugly. That was the worst game
Russell
ever.
Wilson sucks.
I mean, that was
He
freaking
just
terrible.
raised them for $200.
They're not on the board, Dan. Who you like, Jacksonville or Indy?
Jacksonville.
I think I'm going to go that way too. I talked a lot about this team. I'm not going to shy away from them.
Like,
It
I
was
love
a
Matt Ryan.
bad
That's not happening.
performance last week. But hopefully they rebound from that. The next game on the board, the Minnesota Vikings travel to South Beach to play the in-laws team, the Miami Dolphins. Minnesota's 4-1. The Miami Dolphins are 3-2.
not
Minnesota is a 3-point favorite on the road. Why are you talking? The over-under is 45.5. Minnesota, let's talk about their away team first. They come off their home win against Chicago. They had a big lead. They surrendered. The Bears grabbed the lead. They couldn't hold it.
I'm just saying, it's not really South Beach. It's like
Justin Jefferson's a great
Biden.
player. They've
Turnpike.
got him back involved the last couple of weeks after he was absent. I mean, they got a really good offense with a lot of playmakers. They really
Yes, they do.
Um,
yes, they do.
Miami. I mean, here's the thing. Again, the injuries rearing their head fairly early in the season. We're only like a third of the way through the season. They're on their third string quarterback.
They were looking so good the first 3
Dan's
games.
going for number 3.
We all know what happened with Tua. And
I'm not going to get into that whole debate.
Okay, so we won't. But you want me to skip to the chase? I think Minnesota covers that 3 by like 12.
That's really quick. Let's talk about the Dolphins for a bit. They come off of their loss.
Why?
Because that's what we do on the show.
Sucks. They're my defense on my fantasy team.
Nobody cares
They're
about your fantasy team.
horrible. They don't give me any points. They're on the 3rd or 4th string quarterback. I mean, my family's about to have a fucking cardiac arrest. This is not going good. Minnesota is going to beat them. I hate to say it.
Yeah, I mean, Teddy brought it up. Where is the defense, that vaunted defense from Miami from a year ago? It hasn't really shown its head this year. I agree completely with that. I mean, they're on their 3rd string quarterback. I mean, that's really tough. I mean, it's really tough to win in the National Football League with a backup quarterback, let alone a 3rd string quarterback. I mean, there's that heat question.
Where'd you get that?
Keaton went. Dan just brought out an Ohio University koozie. He's using it. Keaton brought it back to me.
Beautiful campus.
His mother took him on a visit to Athens, Ohio.
Nice.
And he knows I like koozies. He brought it back. Sorry, Keaton, I didn't get the first drink out of it. It's okay. Dan's a good friend. Miami. I mean, Dan, you got to pick in this game to recap. Minnesota's -3 on the road.
Minnesota. Yeah, I heard everything.
Jefferson.
You're on your 3rd string quarterback. And
That's the whole thing to me as well.
Miami's pissed because they just took the ping pong table out of the freaking locker room so they could
Did they
focus
really?
more.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I don't know who was playing ping pong down there, but,
But they weren't focusing
not
on
anymore.
football because ping pong was getting in the way.
I mean, maybe the Heat gets to Minnesota. Maybe the defense for the Miami Dolphins shows. It hasn't shown the first 6 weeks. I got to see it before I believe it type of person.
Minnesota seems to be
I'm on Minnesota
enjoying.
-3. Are we all in consensus for
Yes.
-3?
And
on
Minnesota
this
seems to be enjoying their new head coach. I
Yes,
mean,
I
they
agree
seem to
with
have like
that.
a family atmosphere, and they're gonna enjoy this. They probably came down early. Yeah, go out Thursday night, enjoy Miami, come down, go over to Coral Gables or how far off the turnpike you need to go. But
Next game on the board, the Cincinnati
Still
Bengals
driving
travel to
down
New
the road.
Orleans.
Run out of
Cincinnati's
gas on the
2-3. This is ridiculous. No more tailgating before the show. New Orleans has the same record of 2-3. Cincinnati is a 2-point favorite in this game down New Orleans.
Troll.
Over under in this game is 43.5. Cincinnati, they come off of their loss in Baltimore. Was it Sunday night? I want to say that game was. They lost at the buzzer. Cincinnati has lost 3
Monday
times this
night.
year. Was it Monday night?
Monday night.
Sunday night. It was Sunday night.
Who was Monday night then?
I don't know. Now,
It was
now
horrible.
I'm confused. Doesn't matter.
who watches
It was
Monday Night
Monday
Football?
night.
It was a night game. Was all I was getting to. I don't know. I'm not going to recall that right now. Cincinnati's lost 3 times this year, and
Well, I'll tell you what.
hold on, I'm not done with my statement. They lost 3 times this year
Did you just tell me to shh?
at the buzzer every game.
Since
all
he was
3
playing
games.
Miami the night when they took out Tua. That's what you're thinking of. And
not
that
what
was
I'm
2
thinking
weeks
of.
ago.
It was
Yeah.
Baltimore.
Yeah, and they played Baltimore
The
last week
Ratbirds
at night. I don't know if it was Sunday or
Cincinnati.
Monday. It
It was
doesn't really
Sunday
matter. It was at night.
Sunday.
So I mean, but all 3 of Cincinnati, I mean, their record could easily be very different. Like literally, all 3 of their games that they've lost have come down to the last play of the game. They got to get Chase more involved. Burrow goes down back home to, he played collegiate ball at LSU. He's not unfamiliar
Not
with
his
them.
home.
Seriously,
I didn't say
dude?
home.
Seriously?
Ohio.
Did you really just say that?
Yeah, I
You
did.
didn't want us to not tailgate. I think you need to tailgate. LSU is not his home. He's from like South Central Ohio.
Yeah,
I
Athens.
understand exactly where he's from.
Where OU is.
I know exactly where he's from. All I was saying is that he played collegiate ball at LSU. New Orleans comes off of their home win against Seattle, a very high-scoring game that kind of went back
New
and
Orleans
forth.
is awful, dude.
They're
The
terrible.
Falcons should be 3-2 because they should have beaten New Orleans on the first game. Jameis Winston played out of his mind in that 4th quarter. I don't know if you saw it, but he was throwing dimes.
What game?
The first game of the season.
Oh, he hasn't played like in 2 weeks. He's like irrelevant. Andy Dalton's the quarterback of this
I'm
team
just
right
saying the Falcons should have beaten them, and they
Jameis
should have beaten them
practiced
easily.
today.
I'm taking Cincy, no question. I'm taking Joe Burrow. I love all the weapons he has. Mixon's on my fantasy team. Let's get Mixon 34 points. Let's go.
I'm going with
Lay
Cincy
that 2 points.
on this because New Orleans is a mess. And
They're playing
I think that Cincy coach is on the hot seat because that
after
team
being the
is not-
Super Bowl
yeah,
representative.
and I don't
Zach Taylor
know-
is who he's referencing.
I don't know why they gave him a contract extension
What about McPherson,
right
the
after
kicker?
the Super Bowl.
McPherson's been horrible.
It's a very.
He's been horrible. The
And
offensive
he was
line,
like a
they
legend
spent
last
a ton
year.
of money, and
They needed
they
to.
blow.
It is very much so. What have you done for me lately, League?
But you're still taking
and it's
Cincy,
hard to
aren't you?
believe. Like
I'm
after,
taking Sissy, just because New Orleans blows.
I don't care if they're at home. Who dat this? So
Who dat?
It's
Who
a
dat?
4
I don't know
o'clock
what the
game. What
difference
is this?
No, we're still on the early window of the 1 o'clock slate. If you will. Are you on New Orleans or Cincinnati?
I'm on Cincy. Lay those points all day long.
I'm on
They win by 10.
What are you on?
I'm working there. I mean, yeah, where's the defense for New Orleans that, is supposed to be pretty good? It hasn't been good throughout the first 5 weeks of the season. They are playing also with a backup quarterback in Andy Dalton. I like Cincinnati's firepower. I'm going to lay the 2 points as well. The line's short enough for me. I'm on Houday, Bengal Nation, in regards to this game. The next game on the board is the Baltimore and the Giants. I'm going to get a beer, and let's see how bad you guys wrecked it.
Woo! Baltimore! Baltimore is 3-2 versus the New York Football Giants at 4-1.
I don't know how the
Coming off an
Giants-
impressive victory in England,
With no receivers,
but they have a hell of a running back.
Gadget plays, Saquon Barkley. I mean,
I thought he was dead to
Taking
the
too much to
Wolves.
the table after I
holy
left.
shit. The dude. You're
Saquon
talking quarterbacks for
was
MVP.
the Saquon they drafted 3 years ago.
Yes.
Remember the stories out of Penn State? His thighs were
Yeah.
like the size of my waist.
Dude,
and like he
Wildcat
showed it yesterday.
quarterback. I mean,
He showed it. I said
that's
yesterday,
why
not
that
Sunday.
team is where they are.
But
I mean,
Baltimore, obviously we have.
We're not ready to pick the game. The Baltimore Ravens travel to
I
play
thought
the
we
New
were
York
taking
Giants.
this one on.
Yeah, I didn't go that way.
Lamar
the
Jackson for
Ratbirds,
Baltimore.
Mudbuds.
Ratbirds. You can't disrespect what Lamar Jackson's doing. All right, so they're
defense blows.
giving 5 points.
You need to get off of my space
All
a
right,
little bit.
I'm in Kansas.
Or knock over the table.
I actually, you know what? Being Giants at home, so this is still in the 1 o'clock hour.
Yes.
It's an early
Yes,
game,
taking forever.
but you know what? I think the Giants come to a roadblock
Oh, yeah,
this week,
no,
and
yeah.
Baltimore covers those 5. Baltimore wins by 10.
I'm on the Ratbirds on this one.
Ratbirds.
The Giants, they've skated along.
Your fun time
with-
is over, New York
Yes.
Giants.
I think so.
Baltimore, we touched on it. Baltimore won that game against Cincinnati at home. Their defense did play a little bit better last week. I think it comes down to the Giants being able to stop the big play from Lamar Jackson, which happens week in, week out, it seems like. Once again, they're 5-point favorites, over under 45. Giants are a story of the National Football League. Nobody thought they were going to be 4-1. Actually, both the New York teams are the storyline
Who have they
of the
beat?
National Football League. They are
They just
4-1.
beat the
Their best
Packers,
win
but-
certainly was the Green Bay Packers in London last week to refute Teddy's situation where he doesn't believe they've beaten
I don't think
anybody.
the Packers are that
Uh,
good.
The Jets
I mean,
beat the Browns
obviously
and the
the
Steelers,
formula-
and I'll tell you the Browns suck.
On a personal question, though, is Lamar not much bigger now when he was drafted? Like when he was drafted, he was so skinny and sprite. I thought he was going to be killed. Like he actually looks like a good-sized man these days. Am I the only one? Like
I think Teddy's
I mean,
taking
he
a
looks
liking
good.
to Lamar Jackson.
I'm just saying, he was much
know what the
skinnier.
hell that is.
I
and,
don't know.
like
Ted,
I thought
if
he.
you like a muddy butt, he's your guy.
I'm just saying he looks bigger and like someone like unlike Tua Tagovailoa. You hit Tua, he's
Well,
gonna be
freaking
retarded.
Like a foot taller than Tua.
He looks thicker too.
Well, that could be the freaking.
You guys see where the Scottish
Shit's
Hammer
weird.
got passport problems and still can't get back from the
He
game
got
last-
stuck?
back today.
he got back today.
Yeah.
The punter for the New York Giants.
But how does a foreigner have passport?
He's
problems?
Scottish. I don't know. I don't know why. I'm not sure.
Well,
why.
that could be
that
the
kinda crossed my
administration.
mind
Just
too.
let him in. He came through Texas.
Are you guys both? Are you guys both on Baltimore minus
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm fearful of the big play from Lamar Jackson. They didn't cover last week against Cincinnati, but I do. I think these guys are insinuating that maybe the Giants are a fraud. I don't think they're a fraud. I think they're a tremendously well-coached team, and with Brian Dable,
They're well coached.
they're going to try to control the
sure.
clock in this football game with running Saquon Barkley, but they're pretty one-dimensional. They're banged up the wide receiver position. I don't like doing it. I won't personally play it. I'm going to take Baltimore minus 5 as well on the road. I don't like taking big road favorites like that. Speaking of a big road favorite, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Bucs are 8-point favorites in this game. Over/under on this game is 44. Tampa Bay, let's talk about them. They're 3-2 on the year. They come off of their win against Atlanta. We talked quite a bit about the game already because of the roughing the passer situation. Tampa Bay, they've been okay on offense. They've been okay on defense. They're an okay football team. I don't know when they're going to put it into the next gear and become a good football team, but they're an average football team if you ask me right now.
They're average.
Now, we talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, they've had a changing of the guard, the quarterback. They're going to go through some of those lumps with Kenny Pickett. It's his first home start. The crowd's going to be going crazy for them.
Are they, though, really?
Enough for him to play well? I mean, they actually got blown out last week in
crowd
Buffalo.
is very
They got
mediocre to me, dude. It's,
Wow.
They probably get up more for Pitt games than they do for Steelers games.
That's
I've
a
not
lie.
seen them
That's
very
completely
loud.
false.
They want to shake their towels. I don't think they're really into it, man. They
Well,
know.
they're not into shaking the towels because the team lacks talent. And
I'm pretty
so
sure-
they boo. But then these players are like, and this happens in Cleveland because Myles Garrett was pissed that the people booed here. But you know what? When I have to pay for a personal seat license
Ooh,
and
PSL?
get
Ooh.
my season tickets that way, you're damn right I'm going to boo. Screw
Yeah,
you.
you should.
They suck.
Living in Northeast Ohio and seeing the amount of Pittsburgh Steelers fans here, I can completely refute Teddy's insinuation that they do not have passionate fans because they fucking do.
It doesn't
I mean,
carry over on the television. I'm
does.
sorry.
I
It
don't
does
buy
not.
any of that.
Does not.
What are we going to do here? Tampa Bay going to blow this team out on the road?
I was hell-bent last week that they weren't going to lose by 14. They got their doors blown out.
They did.
They're not a talented football team at the moment.
They need TJ Watt back
I
bad.
don't even know if they
Tomlinson's
need
got some
TJ
issues.
Watt. I mean, that team, there's just not a lot of talent there.
Eight's a big number, though.
I'm going with Tampa Bay on this one.
Teddy?
Well, one of my good friends in my fantasy league has basically half the Tampa offense. So I will cheer for my boy Kevin Johnson, and I think they will win this game by 10. Yes, I'll take Tampa Bay, lay the points.
I think Tomlin's a great coach. I look for a bounce back at home. I think the crowd is going to be crazy. I think this game's somehow competitive.
Is he a great coach, or did he just have really good players?
He's a fucking amazingly good
Really?
coach.
Really?
Yes.
Because he looks really good in those.
I don't care.
aviators.
I know they're the arch nemesis of Dan's
looks
Cleveland Browns.
good in those
and
aviators.
Dan will tell you that Mike Tomlin's a great fucking football
I'm not
coach.
saying he's not. I'm just
Well,
curious.
do you think Bill Belichick, or not Bill Belichick, do you think Bill Cowher's a great coach
No.
for the Steelers?
And he inherited.
Well, hold
Just
on.
like Tomlin inherited.
Wait, I want to hear his answer. Do you think Bill Cowher, for his 15 years at the Steelers, was a great coach?
I think he had a lot of good players. I think Howard's a decent coach. I don't think he's the coach that Tomlin is. I mean, Tomlin hasn't had a losing record.
What are you, a politician? Answer the question.
I don't think he's the
He
as quality a
sucked.
coach as Tomlin
He
is.
sucked.
I
He
don't
had
know
so much talent, and he won one Super Bowl. One Super Bowl with all the shit he had for 15 years. He's awful.
You two are on Tampa, and I'm on the Steelers?
Yes.
All right, very good. Let's get to the 4 o'clock, mercifully, to the 4 o'clock window.
that
The late window
Carolina?
on Sunday. It is the Carolina Panthers traveling to the Los Angeles Rams.
The Rams have been really unimpressive all year.
The Rams let's
They
talk
get a rebound game
about
this
the
week.
line first. It's the Rams minus 10.5 in this game. The over-under is 41. The big news out of Carolina.
Wait,
Obviously-
is this week 6?
Yes?
So Aaron Donald still should not be playing in this game.
Fucking for the love of God. Next week, then, you're out.
Assault with a deadly helmet.
Yeah.
You're out next week, right on that? We agreed on that? We're not going to talk about Aaron Donald after next week?
Because he didn't
Yeah,
get
so
suspended.
Ken, obviously
I mean,
the big
it's
news
terrible.
is out of Carolina is
That Matt Rule was dismissed as the head football coach there. Obviously, Baker Mayfield has not been the answer there. And we talked, kind of the theme of this show has been the backup players at quarterback, the quarterback position, which is the chess piece. It looks like it's P.J. Walker this week, which is the USFL guy or whatever that XFL league or whatever those other leagues are. I mean, he's an athletic quarterback, but you know they got beat bad by a good San Francisco team at home last week.
Wait.
The Rams lost at home to Dallas. They're 2-3. They got a Super Bowl hangover here, and they got some problems.
The Rams look awful.
they have more than a Super Bowl hangover. There's more going on.
They're
I don't know
awful.
if Matt Stafford's doing too many commercials or what, but there's more going on with that.
It's
There's
karma. I've said this before because when that girl fell off the stage and he looked like a jackass.
Look
yeah.
around, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
So you're telling me
I'm
Sam
not a Matt
Darnold is
Stafford
not
fan.
starting for Carolina?
I don't think he's healthy yet.
Sam Darnold is not off IR, and Baker Mayfield has a high ankle sprain.
Correct. And it's going to be
P.J.
P.J.
Fleck?
Walker. It's going to be P.J. Walker. I
And
think
they
he's
just
the coach
fired
of
the
the
friggin'
University of
coach.
All right.
Okay. The Rams, they have offensive line issues. They
can't run the ball.
They can't seem to get other playmakers involved outside of Cooper Kupp. I mean, Allen Robinson hasn't been involved. I think they're missing Van Jefferson. He used to take the top off the defense. Dan's right. They haven't run the ball tremendously well. Carolina's an absolute mess. I'll take the lead on this game. This team's going to bounce back. They're too good of a football team not to win big at home, I think. I know it's a big number in the National Football League, but I'm going to lay the Rams minus 10.5.
Well, I'm going to go with the Rams. They're a shitty football team that's playing a really shitty Carolina team. And that's the only reason.
Yeah, I'm also gonna have to go with the Rams. The only problem is, if I was at, was that SoFi or what's the one they play?
It's at SoFi.
SoFi.
Yeah.
The biggest entertainment in SoFi is who's gonna get in a fight in the stands.
Yeah.
And do
there's
you
probably
have
gonna
a
be more
fight next
Carolina
to you?
fans there.
But the Carolina fans might travel, but I mean, I think it's worse for the Charger games. But 10.5 seems like a really big number. But Carolina has shown me nothing this year. LA wins by at least 13.
All right, we're all on the Rams minus 10.5 in this game. Next game on the board, probably going to be a shootout here. The Arizona Cardinals travel to Seattle, up the coast, if you will. Arizona's minus 3 in this game. Over-under on this game is 51, obviously a big number. Arizona comes off of their home loss against Philadelphia. They're an okay team. They can't seem to beat very good teams. I'm not a fan of Cliff Kingsbury.
No.
I don't know if Kyler Murray should have been given that contract.
Coach Handsome?
They're missing D-Hop. Rondale Moore got more involved. I mean, they had a chance in that game.
When does he come back? This is his
D-Hop
last game.
after 6, yes.
For using a performance-enhancing drug, he's suspended 6 games. But if I swing 2 helmets,
Sorry I
at your
mentioned
ass,
it. I
get to
fell
still
right
play.
into that trap. There was a big mistake by Kyler Murray late in that game where he slid instead of dove for a first down, and he ended up short because when you start your slide, that's where they mark the ball. They had to kick a field goal, a 43-yard field goal. They have a backup
Well, it was
kicker.
that, but then he spiked it too.
Yeah, he did. There was a kind of a comedy of errors, maybe a little bit strong, but there was complete mismanagement at the end of that game. It started with Murray not sliding instead of not diving, and it compounded itself. It really did. They ended up kicking a 43-yard field goal, which you should make in the National Football League, and they missed to shove the game into overtime.
He slides because every quarterback's taught to slide, protect yourself, but then the coach that's calling the play has, I believe, direct contact. He's wearing a headset. Don't tell him not to spike the play.
Right. I mean,
spike the ball.
It was a rush, and you know they made mistakes down the stretch. Certainly, they probably should have had a first down and could have continued to move the ball. Maybe even had a chance to win the game, put the ball in the end zone, and beat a very good Philadelphia team, as we know. It didn't happen. Seattle comes off a loss in New Orleans where the game was back and forth. Geno Smith continues to play really well, like really well.
That's freaking
He's
insane.
athletic. He's throwing the ball all over the place. They're not a bad football team. I think this game's going to go back and forth. Who's going to win this game?
Well, for me, I definitely think Geno has a chip on his shoulder. I was drafted by the Jets 3, 4, 5 years ago. He was supposed to be
Probably
the
one
boy.
I think he played for the Jets. He played
was he
for
West
the
Virginia?
Giants.
Was he from West
Yes,
Virginia?
he is
Yeah.
at West Virginia.
And he has the chip on his shoulder. You saw that after the first victory of this game or this year. So I have actually not watched Arizona play this year. I did have Kyler Murray on my fantasy last year, so I was obviously watching. But for some reason, I'm feeling being at home with the crowd noise, being in Seattle, I'm going to take those 3 points, and I'm going to go with Seattle.
Dan, all right, Teddy's taking Seattle, 12th man. He likes that. Dan, what do you think?
I think I'm going with Seattle as well. I just from the coaching aspect of it.
I'm going with Arizona. The defense for Seattle is fucking awful. I mean, it's awful. It really is. I don't know. I mean, once again, this is a dangerous game. Not usually, but I'll be talking about these games as we go down, and we only got a few games left, and I'm like, I like that game a lot. I haven't even found one on the board that I really love yet, which would be my elephant pick, and I know I'm running hot with those. But next game on the board, probably the marquee game of the week, if you ask me,
It should be Sunday night.
the Buffalo Bills playing the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead. Buffalo on the road, 2.5 point favorite in this game. The over under 53.5.
He's been there apparently.
It's going to be a shootout. Arrowhead. Sorry, gentlemen. I think you made more mistakes than I, but anyway, and I've talked a lot more. Buffalo.
That's because you keep cutting us off.
Because you're the host.
It's necessary.
If you want me to get right
Control.
on this, I'm taking Buffalo. I love everything they're doing. They are the.
You don't want to
perennial-
talk about the teams before we
No,
jump
I'm
in?
telling you how much I love Josh Allen. I have Gabe
Davis.
on my fantasy team, which I love him. I even have
Boy, did he
yeah.
get a couple of big plays last week. Gabe Davis got a 98-yard touchdown off the rip.
I think he had
for fantasy owners,
three receptions for like 180 yards.
Yes,
Yeah.
2 of them were converted into touchdowns.
Isaiah McKenzie, that's the name I was looking for. Who's
He's
also on my
out.
team.
He was out, I think, if I'm not mistaken, with a concussion, maybe. In any event, Buffalo, they do come off their absolute beatdown against Pittsburgh. I don't know why you're doing that. Buffalo, once again, 2.5, over under 53.5. Kansas City, they come off their win against Las Vegas, where they were down early, came back. I mean, they got a great offense. They really do.
I also have Travis Kelce on my fantasy
Yeah,
team.
dude,
so
dude,
I was
Well, you did well then last
I
week.
did not cover Travis Kelce. 4 touchdowns.
And fairly wide open on all of them.
And then, hey, how about freaking Devontae Adams shoving the dude? What
Yeah.
the hell?
Oh, the cameraman. I
Yeah.
heard.
Well, I mean, what the hell?
Like
you
what?
lost the game,
Why are you
dude.
doing that?
But come on, is it a game or come
Yeah,
on, just
it-
go to the locker room? Because
I actually didn't see it. I heard about it. Was it?
Holy
was
shit!
It, was it
it's blatant as hell. I mean, the dude's just walking and
He's
he's
a poor guy who
across.
works for the NFL.
He happens
and
to
he
cross
gives him
his
this number.
path. Oh,
It's not like
Too
that.
big.
I didn't
Shove.
see it. I didn't
What do you
see
mean
it.
it's not?
I'm
like
not
that?
going to exactly make excuses for Devontae Adams. The cameraman got in his face. Adams shoved him.
He
Is what
didn't
happened.
get in his face. He was crossing his path. I've seen
I
it.
didn't see it.
You've seen bullshit.
Look, Adams wasn't happy about. The guy went to the hospital. He filed misdemeanor assault charges,
wait a
or
minute.
whatever the county.
If
or
you were
Wait, would you not
representing
represent
him,
him?
you would say, "Yeah, don't you have an injury?"
Fuck him. It's a cash grab. We all know what it is.
think
Okay,
you-
that's fine.
I think you have
he,
a
he
good-
I don't know what
hit-
it is.
That was the lottery ticket right there.
It's
Good
not
for him.
It's not a fucking lottery ticket.
No.
If that dude's hurt, fucking kiss my ass. What is his damages? It's fucking
No.
next to nothing. And I promise you, I know a shit pot full about this
There's
stuff.
The biggest
way
problem
that
is
should have happened
that
at
guy
all.
works for the NFL. That's what the problem is. He's not just some freelance guy. He works for the people that pay your salary.
That's
That's the problem.
That is the equal of. I tell you what, we have these bus cases every once in a while. And
So wait, Devontae Adams works for the NFL, and so does that camera guy.
You get a little something.
okay.
So they get treated differently.
No, I was going to equate this to. We see things. I'm not going to get in our law. I'm not going to do it. I'm
No,
not going to
let's
tell a
do
story.
it.
I'm
Let's
not
do
going to tell a story. Buffalo minus 2.5. What do you guys like?
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
I know, man. What a shootout that game was in the playoffs last year. Like,
How was that not the Sunday night game of the week? That must be the 4 o'clock Fox game, right?
yes. Or CBS. I
CBS.
don't know which.
Yeah.
Certainly. I mean, that was.
Wait, why aren't are
Dallas,
the Raiders
Philly.
on bye?
They are. We do. It is the
Oh,
first
yeah,
week for
there is
buys at
buys.
reference. Detroit, Houston, Las Vegas, and Tennessee
Yeah.
are on buy, so we do have a few less games, which is probably good this week. But
This-
you guys are both on Buffalo.
Yes, sir.
Nah. So now I'm going to bring this up again. Devontae Adams, how many games is he going to get suspended?
0.
You think?
He might get one. He might get one.
I don't know. I didn't see the
For
double.
the personal conduct,
He might get one.
and Aaron Donald is still playing. For hitting somebody with a
Are you guys both on Buffalo minus 2.5?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we are. Come on, you heard us the first time.
I think I want to go that way too. I mean, I think they have a better defensive team than Kansas City does. I mean, this game probably is going to come down to who gets the ball last again. They've been unbelievable games in the past. I'm on Buffalo as well, minus 2.5.
On
Mercifully,
the road. That's like huge. That's like 5.5. So.
mercifully, we
They're
are on to Sunday Night Football. It is a great.
NFC East
Yes.
bullshit.
Again. The Cowboys.
Always. I hate these two teams.
Dan belabors the Cowboys all the time, but
They're always freaking on.
you
And
can't
I'm
bitch
not-
about this game.
I'm
You
not
cannot
being extra
complain about this
for-
game.
Is Dak
NFL,
back? It
but-
doesn't matter. Actually, I'd rather Cooper Rush was the quarterback. And yes, the Alabama quarterback, Jalen Hurts, he's unbelievable.
I'll introduce
Unbelievable.
the game, and then you guys can start running at the mouth. Dallas travels to Philadelphia. Philadelphia is minus 4.5 in this game. The over/under is 42. Dallas 4-1, playing the only undefeated football team in the National Football League. Fly Eagles fly at 5-0. Dallas comes off of their impressive win on the road against the Los Angeles Rams. Cooper Rush. Well,
I don't think Los
you said
Angeles Rams
Cooper
are
Rush.
that- I don't think they're impressive.
It looks
that's
like he's going to
impressive.
remain the quarterback. It looks like Dak's another week away. I don't know
Yeah.
when he's coming back. Dallas. Let's talk about that defense. It's been tremendous under Dan Quinn. I mean, tremendous.
It's been good, but what's his face?
All gas,
is
no
hurt
brakes?
With a groin injury.
Micah Parsons?
Yes. And
That,
Great player.
that dude's a fucking stud.
Yes. And I'm like, we have Myles Garrett, and this guy freaking is a playmaker.
Stud.
Myles Garrett rolled over his Porsche and didn't play. This guy's playing with a torn groin and making plays.
Stud.
But we got a guy that rolled over a Porsche and can't play a fucking football game. Come on.
Philadelphia
Where did he go to college, by the way? Pittsburgh?
Penn State.
Pittsburgh?
Micah Parsons?
Micah Parsons.
Penn State. Philadelphia's minus 4.5 in this game. They did win out in Arizona. They didn't play their greatest football game of the year, but they're a really good, balanced football team
They
with
ran
a
the ball
power
good.
run game. With a power run game,
Both running
play
backs.
Who are
action.
their running backs, by the way?
Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, Barton Scott, Jalen Hurts at the quarterback position.
Right.
Oh,
As a
wait,
runner as well.
I thought you were talking about Dallas. Dallas, you got
Let's talk. It's Tony
Pollard
Pollard and
and,
Ezekiel Elliott, and I really think Pollard should get the lion's share of the carries. He's the more dynamic of backs at this point in time. Elliott's been a great back. I mean, but Pollard's younger, fresher. I think they should probably pass that torch a little bit to Pollard and let him get the lion's share of the carries. I certainly do.
Which just goes to show you don't give running backs big contracts anymore.
Who we like,
You don't
guys?
do
it depends on the running back and
You
the
don't
work
do it,
ethic.
dude.
Yeah, they're
I'll
plugging plays.
give Nick Chubb one because I know what? I know Nick Chubb has the work ethic.
Yes.
Whereas
Ezekiel Elliott.
Elliott will go out and party in Las
Yep.
Vegas. Nick Chubb is eating people for breakfast and
I
squatting
agree
them for
100%
lunch.
with what you just said.
So hold on.
What are you shaking your
Who's
head
the-
for over there?
Philadelphia minus 4.5 in this game. Who we like?
I'm going with
In
Philadelphia. Because Cooper Rush, I mean, he's been riding a wave, man. The dude's been
Well, I think he's been
I
great.
don't know.
He's been great
But it's going to come to an end.
until Philly lose. So you're taking Dallas.
No, I'm
No.
taking
Oh, no, you're taking
Philly.
Cooper Rush in. All right. So 4.5 is a big number. I think Philly wins, but I don't think they cover 4.5. So I'll take
That's
Dallas.
fine.
I'm going to go with Teddy. I'm going to go with Dallas to keep this game tight. It's their defense that's played so well. We'll see. I mean, I know it was on the road. Philadelphia's a great football team. They did not show that well last week. I'm sure that crowd is going to be lubed up. It's going to be wild in Philadelphia. It makes me nervous. It's another game I won't personally play. I think it's going to be a really good football game. I like it to be a 3 or 4 point game. I'm going to take the points with the Dallas Cowboys as well. We're on to Monday Night Football, and unfortunately, Denver is in a primetime slot again. I mean, everybody.
God, do they suck.
They're in a lot of primetime spots because everybody thought this team was going to be really good with Russell Wilson at
$250
quarterback.
million
They
for
have
that
not been very good. They play out in SoFi against the Los Angeles Chargers.
Say let's ride one more time. Sorry.
So there'll be games back to back. There'll be a game on Sunday at 4 p.m. at SoFi, and then on Monday night at SoFi as well, because the Rams and the Chargers do share that stadium.
Did Denver stay out there as well? Like
I don't know. I have no idea about that.
I mean, it's not that far.
The Chargers are 5.5 point favorites in this game. The over/under is 46. Denver, we talked about that horrible football game at home against
Such
Indianapolis
a
where they
water
lost.
problem in California, but when you see SoFi Stadium, they have that man-made lake outside full of water.
It's going to come to a
Am
head
I the
pretty
only
soon.
one?
It's coming to a head pretty soon.
Am I the only one that questions that?
No,
'Cause
we-
all those
we were
liberal
just out
freaks
there. No,
out
no,
there with
no.
climate change, but
Yeah.
there's a
Oh, yeah.
freaking
Oh, yeah.
concrete lake out there.
What I thought was interesting, we were just in Huntington
what,
Beach.
What was that, Ned Clampett?
We're staying in Huntington Beach, and we have this awesome, like, $1 million Airbnb, and there's an oil rig
No, it's
right next to
we're
us.
like talking about
Going
the
like
Beverly
this.
Hillbillies
I'm
right
like,
now or
I
something.
thought
I
you
don't
could
know
do
what
this
we're
in
talking about.
California.
Yeah.
Oh, they do. Sorry. Back to the game.
This game sucks
This
so
game
bad.
sucks horribly. So this is
Let me
I have
recap.
no interest in watching
this-
it. I hope there's a baseball
This is Sunday
game on.
night or Monday night?
Monday night.
Monday Night
Monday
Football.
night.
Chargers -5, hosting Denver. We talked about the Denver Indy game being poor last Thursday night. Denver does come off a lot of rest because of that. Chargers won their
What really
second game
sucks
in a
is
row
Troy Aikman and Joe Buck.
on the road
Hopefully the
against
Mannings are on.
the Cleveland Browns. Obviously,
What are you talking about, Cleveland Browns?
because that's
the
who the
Chargers
Chargers
just
beat last week. I tell you what, Brandon Staley may have not made the flight home
Holy
to
shit.
LA
That was stupid.
with that. I mean, he went for it on 4th and 2 at their own 46 less than a minute or a minute left in the game? Whatever it was.
Plenty of time for us to go down. I mean, we were almost in field goal range.
Up by 2 points. Yeah, with that kicker, I mean, he may not be able to kick it through the uprights, but he probably could have kicked it from 65, which probably would have been the number where they were at on the field.
65?
I mean, that was a bad... I mean, I can't believe
what
that
elevation were you at?
He got
you
away
in
with
Denver?
it. So,
No, we were in Cleveland.
He's got a really long...
You ain't
got a really
from
big
65 in Cleveland. Maybe Mexico City or Tucson.
Chargers -5 in this game. Who you jumping like?
Neither team.
I will take the Chargers. I will lay the 5 points. They're going to win by at least 7. No problem. No problem.
I'm going with Denver on this one because
Really?
this game just sucks. And
Is Herbert back? Herbert's playing, right?
Yeah, he's been playing. He played through his injury. He hasn't missed a game.
Denver's games are awful, and it's
So
like
why are you
field
choosing
goals.
them?
I shouldn't choose them because
I mean, they're on the road.
Did Teddy sway you?
Field goals. I'm going with the Chargers.
That's going to be a consensus pick. I'm going to take the Chargers as well. Show me before I'm going to believe anything. And that offense for Denver
Show me.
has not clicked at all so far this season. Obviously, they paid a lot of money to Russell Wilson, which Teddy referenced talking over me earlier when I was introducing the game. But anyway, we're all in the Chargers -5 in this game. Buys for the week is Detroit, Houston, Vegas, and Tennessee. We're on the best bets, which we call elephant picks on our little show here.
Can I pick an NFL game or to pick a college game?
No, you pick an NFL game.
Yeah,
Right, but I see elephant, then I see Bama, Tennessee.
We're going to do the bonus college football game after we pick our best bets. I'm going to go first. And I don't like a lot of games on this board. I mean, I had immediately picked
What are you actually going to put money on, Ken?
San Francisco last week. I'm going to go early. I think the Bears win their football game at home. The line is short enough. It's 1. I expect the Bears to win this by a field goal to 7 points. I have faith in my football team. They're wearing their orange helmets. The place is going to be wild. Chicago loves their football Bears, even though they haven't put a winner on the field a lot. I'm going with the Bears, my elephant pick. And by the way, I will remind our audience that plays our picks, I'm 4-1. Play it.
Go.
It's kind of funny because I was going with the Bears too.
Where do you see that?
Dan's with us. Dan's going to follow along with the Bears -1. We're going to try to get our elephant picks in
Chicago,
early.
Washington?
Okay.
Well, I can't all take the same way. So, all right, my elephant pick is going to actually be Cleveland -3 at home versus New England.
Yikes.
Yikes, what? Because you think your Bears have a better chance of beating Washington? That's fine. But I wanted to take Atlanta, but that 5.5 is a lot. So I'm going to take Cleveland at home -3. They're going to win by at least 3.5, if that's possible, over New England.
How about Alexa talking to us?
Hey, do you want to go on to our college game? Because it's a good one. It's a good one this weekend.
This is a great one. I'm pissed this is at 3:30.
I'm actually pissed that I didn't pick the Big Ten game to chap Teddy more. I thought about it, which was Penn State and Michigan.
That's
anyway,
a good one.
I can't
It's
believe
a good one.
I'm mercifully trying to get through this thing. Bama, third-ranked Bama.
This is the best show of the year.
This is the
Dave.
best one of the year. All we need is Mike the Mechanic or Mark the Mechanic.
Mark.
Mike and the Mechanics?
I'm better.
That's a band, isn't it?
It is. Dan knows his 80s music from Song Quiz. Bama travels to Rocky Top to play the Tennessee Volunteers.
But it matters.
I'm sorry, what?
Is Bryce Young play?
That's
How about you let me introduce the fucking game? Bama, third ranked, playing Tennessee, sixth ranked. Bama's a touchdown favorite. Over/under. I didn't write the over/under in this game. Thank God. Both these teams are 6-0. Both of them are 3-0. Teddy, I don't know this stuff for sure. Are these guys on opposite sides of the SEC or on the same?
They are. This is their crossover game for the year. So they always have to play each other.
They only play one crossover game, and then you play
Georgia
everybody?
plays Auburn.
But do
and
you
then
only
we have a rotating one. This is their every year crossover. Tennessee has to play Alabama every year. Tennessee's in the East. That's
play
the
the
Auburn,
same team every
Alabama. So Georgia plays Auburn every year. Then we rotate. So like this year, I think it's Mississippi State. Tennessee always plays Alabama. Tennessee's in the East. Alabama's in the West. Their game is always against them. It obviously flip flops.
I'm a little bit confused.
This is in Neyland Stadium, by the way. Where Neyland Stadium is going to be off the chain. The Tennessee Mafia, the Tennessee.
I wish the game was at night.
Actually, not Mafia. The Tennessee Navy.
I don't know how this game.
But by 3:30, by the fourth quarter,
playing really good.
By the fourth quarter, and you should watch out because Tennessee's quarterback, his name's escaping me right now.
Hendon Hooker.
Hendon Hooker is amazing. he might be like a top 5 pick. Watch out for him. If Bryce Young doesn't play, I know where I'm going on this game.
Yeah, that's a really big question. I will tell you, Bama played a really entertaining football game against Texas A&M, where Texas A&M had a shot from the 2-yard line. At the end of the game, they were down by 4. They could have won the game. I didn't like the play call at all.
Strange play call.
At all. I text Dan. I'm like, why didn't they just run their best 2-point conversion play that they have on the books? Because it's for the win.
Apparently, what I heard
it was an out play.
You heard Jimbo say Evan, and Evan's one of their receivers. So like the Alabama guys cued in on that. They're like, well, we're going to stop this motherfucker. Excuse me.
Tennessee comes off an absolute beatdown of LSU. They went to Baton Rouge
LSU
at noon, and they took control of the game from the opening kickoff.
Good?
I think they won 40-13.
But it's still LSU.
Bama minus 7 this game. I'll take the lead.
Wait, I wanted to say something. Hold on.
Please
what
do.
the hell?
Please do. Like,
what is Bryce Young's injury?
his shoulder. So he didn't play the
Throwing
last
shoulder?
game. And the guy that's going to replace him, he all he does is run.
It's his throwing shoulder.
I believe
Tays
so.
right. He's an
I believe
athletic
so.
quarterback.
Tennessee.
I believe so. And Hendon Hooker is healthy. He looks like the legit. He's a transfer from Virginia Tech. He looks the part. If Bama has a hiccup this year, this is going to be the game.
I wish the game was at night. I'm going to take the Tennessee Volunteers as well. Go Rocky Top. That's been the entire slate of the National.
Whoa, I didn't predict.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought you took Tennessee.
Yeah, that's what I was going to. We're cutting the show off. You want to end the show?
I do.
If Bryce Young is out, go Vols.
We're all consensus on Tennessee Volunteers?
I can't believe I said that. But yes, Vols. And then Georgia will beat them later in the year. I'd rather beat a team that's ranked than a team that's not.
My God, I'm going to play this back and probably cringe multiple times, but thank you all for listening and watching.
You're going to cringe.
We'll do better next week.
So good because
That was really good. That was so good. So good.
Best one of the year.